Hey everybody, this is KZ and welcome back to another discussion video having to deal with E3. This is going to be my E3 predictions video. So what I've done here is I have written up 5 predictions for the big 3, those being Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony, and these are things that we are going to see, or at least I think we're going to see, at their press conferences with some details. I thought it'd be cool as a little time capsule that we can open back up in less than a week and find out if I was right on any of this, and I'm probably going to be wrong. I also included a couple of bonus ones afterward as well, and with that, let's jump into this. So to start things off, we're going to be doing Microsoft first. They are the first of the 3 big press conferences, and they have a lot of interesting stuff going on. Now, sometimes these predictions are going to have a little bit more detail. It depends on how confident I am and just generally what I can kind of see happening. So, starting off, the first prediction for Microsoft is that Project Scorpio is revealed to be the Xbox 4K and will be launching in November at $399. Now, the Xbox 4K title has 2 meanings. They're pushing it as true 4K gaming, and it's also the 4th big console release for Xbox, even if they don't seem to want to leave behind the previous console. And it's a very interesting situation they're in, because I could see them going for a higher price point. I could see them going $450, $500, even above that. Like, I could see them doing that if their wording last year was a little different. The way they have set up the Scorpio to us is that this is going to be a part of the family of systems for Xbox, and they are not going to make exclusive games for it just yet. It's not a new console generation, they're going beyond that. They're going with this iterative idea for consoles, which would make it more in line with the PlayStation 4 Pro. The difference is, this thing has 6 teraflops. It's much more powerful. But if it's not a new generation, or at least what we consider to be a new generation, I don't see them charging you $500 just so you can play games at a much higher fidelity. And it just, I feel like Sony's gonna eat their lunch when it comes to that. The price needs to be low, unless they're trying to push out a new generation, which, going by their messaging, they're just not going to do. With that being said, they are not going to just announce Project Scorpio. My prediction is they will also reveal a VR device. Xbox VR will be announced and will be a companion to Scorpio. People were speculating that maybe they're going to do an Oculus thing. I think that they're going to make their own machine. They're going to make their own VR device that's only works with the Scorpio, and it's going to be their answer to PlayStation VR. A lot of people are getting into the VR game, and it is early on, it's early goings, and we need more companies to do this, and PlayStation has done really well. They've sold 1 million VR units so far, and I think that Microsoft could get something going here. I feel like Minecraft's a good pick, and various other games, but I think they're gonna do that. In addition to all this Scorpio blowout, this celebration, I guess, this reveal, they're going to show off Crackdown 3 once again, a game that people have been wondering, is it in trouble? And my prediction is, it's almost ready to go. It's going to be coming out with the Scorpio in November as a launch title. Of course, it will be available on the Xbox One, but you'll see wonderful branding of looks best on Scorpio, or that kind of thing, just to let you know that the true experience is with their new console, or it is better with the Xbox 4K if you want to go with my prediction of the console's name. I'm so totally going to be fucking wrong with that name. They're going to call it Xbox One Elite and I'm going to throw up. Anyway, I'm sticking to my prediction though. 4th one is going to be that Cuphead is complete. Cuphead is the wonderful looking game that looks like a 1920s cartoon that was filled to the rim with boss fights, but then they decided to add more features to it, and it kept getting delayed, and we kept seeing it too much. And it's complete, and it's available right now. They're going to shadow drop this game. You don't have to wait anymore. You can go onto the Xbox store, the Windows PC store, whatever they're doing, and you can pick the game up. It's going to be like $30. And that's going to be it. Now, I really don't see them... I don't see them giving a release date for it. I don't see them doing anything other than just releasing the game at this point, because they have waited too goddamn long to bring this game out. A lot of people have gotten over the novelty of, oh good, it looks just like a cartoon. It's just like, yeah, that was good, but I've seen it too much. And that can happen with a lot of games. You always have to risk that, especially with something that seems so niche. Big AAA games can potentially get away with it because they're these big sprawling experiences. This is something that I imagine you'll be done within 4 to 5 hours, and I feel like they have to drop it at the show, and it will get a decent enough pop if people can get it immediately. The final prediction for Microsoft is one that I'm really hoping for, and it's that along with this new system and this exciting time for Microsoft, they are going to announce Killer Instinct 4, or Killer Instinct with a brand new subtitle. This will be a follow-up to Killer Instinct 2013, which was an Xbox One launch title. I don't know if this will launch directly with their new system, but I feel like it'll be in that general area. It will retain the exact same business model as the original version, where you could like buy the entire game and own all of the characters that they have, or you could, you know, just buy what you want or just play it free. And it's going to look a hell of a lot better, take advantage of their new system and its 4K capabilities, and revive that fighting game scene. Killer Instinct is a fantastic fighting game, and it would be a waste if they didn't do more with it. So I think the next version of that's going to be announced, and they are going to trickle down the rest of the content they had planned for the original Killer Instinct that they've been working on. And that's my predictions for Microsoft. Again, I don't think these are really hard predictions, except maybe the VR idea and Killer Instinct getting another game, but they're things that I feel like could happen and would get a decent amount of excitement from people. Next up, we have Nintendo. And Nintendo is a bit of a different beast, because they've already launched some hardware, the Switch, and it's been a pretty big success because they sell out within seconds, it feels like. So we're going to be focusing on dates for them, as well as what games are being announced and shown. This is going to be a 30-minute press conference as well, so they're going to have to burn through stuff. But the first and the most obvious one is Super Mario Odyssey is going to be launching around November. And it's going to have a big blowout. This is the chance for this game to have a big moment in the sun. It's going to show various worlds, various levels and mechanics, and is going to look like a fantastic Mario game that you have to have in your hands, and you don't have to wait very long. You just got to wait till November for it to explode off shelves and be the ultimate holiday game for them. Now the next game, I made this prediction, and you know when you make a prediction and you know it's going to be wrong? This is that one. This is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 gets a release date, and it's going to be in December of this year. Now, they said that this game was coming out this year. However, the game looks so unbelievably early when we saw it in January, and they're still recording the soundtrack for it right now, it seems, going by tweets and various information like that. And I don't know if they can make it, but I want to believe that they can bust out a big Monolith Soft RPG just in time. But I'm not... I predict that this will happen, but everything's telling me no. But sometimes you just need to let dreams happen. The year of dreams continues, and it has been going ever since the whole Final Fantasy VII Shenmue and Last Guardian stuff happened, and this is a smaller version of that where Nintendo could bust out a brand new sprawling RPG that people can really get into. And hopefully we'll see that this year. It's probably going to get delayed though, let's be honest. So, next game I wanted to predict is Fire Emblem Warriors. It's going to launch in October, and it's going to look like what a Dynasty Warrior style game would look like if you had Fire Emblem characters in it. Like, there's not much to say there, it's going to launch in October. You see, the problem with predicting this is they specifically said that they were going to focus on 2017 games, which is a problem because that means that you can't make very, very big predictions on megaton games, I feel like, which is unfortunate. So I only have one major 2018 title here. I have another minor one, and we're going to move on to that now. The fourth prediction is that Super Smash Bros. Switch is announced. It's going to be hitting in the first quarter of 2018. It's going to feature a brand new story mode, so there's a bit more single-player content other than the nothing they gave us on the Wii U version, along with 8 brand new fighters and 10 new stages. Again, I'm saying 10 new stages as in they can be some that are reported from the 3DS version, but overall, compared to the Wii U version, you're getting 10 new stages and 8 new fighters, which I think is reasonable for a more fleshed out version of that game, and I really want this to be true. I want to play Smash on the Switch. I want to be able to play with new characters. I want the hype back where we would wait for Nintendo Directs and see a brand new character appear, and I really, really hope that this week we can finally see Smash again, you know? It's an exciting time. Now, the fifth prediction is one that I feel like everyone wants to predict every year at this point. Ever since their last game, Retro Studios finally reveals their new game. And I predict it's going to be a Metroid game that launches next year in the first quarter. Now, that's a megaton. One, Metroid's fans have been pretty unsatisfied. I feel like they really want to push a new game for that. You have Retro Studios who seemingly haven't put out a game for 3.5 years since the last Donkey Kong game. And I feel like they did really well with 3 Metroid games before. I believe they hired someone who is well known for sci-fi writing, and I feel like they could really, really knock it out of the park with a fantastic Metroid game. It does not have to be Prime. It does not necessarily have to be a first-person game, but oh man, if you could just imagine an HD Metroid Prime, the Switch is just going to catch on fire. Like, just, that would be absolutely spectacular and be a megaton style game, the likes of Zelda and the likes of Mario when it comes to Nintendo AAAs. Either way, I hope Retro shows a game because, good lord, if they don't show anything at E3, there's something going on, I feel like, because it has been so long that, like, what's going on? What's going on over there, you know? And those are my Nintendo predictions. Again, it's mostly software and not too much new software due to it being strictly 2017 titles for the most part. And I basically just said, here's when I think this is coming out for 3 of them. One is a port announcement, the other one is a new game reveal. And I want to keep my expectations in check, because Nintendo does a good job of blowing me away when I don't expect it, but a lot of times it's kind of disappointing me. You want to know who hasn't disappointed me, at least recently? Sony. Their past 2 or 3 E3s have been fantastic, showing off amazing games and just basically they're playing with your mind. Like, there's the cynical part of people who could say, oh, well, E3 2015 wasn't that great because, you know, it was a Kickstarter and FF7 ain't coming out till 2030 and The Last Guardian isn't good, some stuff like that. They are very, very good at giving you some of the most exciting reveals. Their trailers, the way they present things, it is a celebration. They have embraced hype better than any company at this. And they used to be the most fucking boring motherfuckers on the block when it came to these press conferences. Just check out their 2006 conference, which I think is on YouTube. So, here is what I think they are going to show. Here are my 5 predictions for Sony. God of War gets a big push and becomes the PlayStation 4's major title for the fall. They showed some really cool gameplay. seamless transitions between cutscenes and these QuickTime events into real gameplay. It looks fantastic. We're going to get another trailer just like that, even more exciting, and it's going to be revealed for the fall. It's almost done. It's going to get finished, and yeah, should be pretty damn good. Second thing is going to be about Spider-Man PlayStation 4. It's going to get a Meteor gameplay trailer, and it's going to be confirmed for early 2018. I suspect Q1. Maybe in the slot that Horizon was around end of February or early March. I was kind of throwing around whether or not it would come out this year because the head of Marvel Game Studios said that we have a lot of exciting things for the Marvel games, like Spider-Man this year and Marvel vs. Capcom this year. But I just don't see it because they didn't give us enough last year. And unless they were specifically holding back, I think they may need more time in the oven. And to be honest, Insomniac can take all the time they need. They are a developer that I trust that bring out some of the best quality content. Just look at stuff like Ratchet & Clank and even Sunset Overdrive on Xbox. So that's going to be hitting first quarter of 2018. But you know what else is going to be happening Q1 at 2018, according to me with these predictions? Days Gone. That's going to get another trailer. It's going to come out, I would suspect, maybe January. And honestly, I don't see this game doing well. I don't see this being a major game for Sony. It just does not jive with me at all. It looks like a yet another zombie game that really lacks any sort of personality. The AI and all the zombies they have on screen looks really cool from a technical standpoint, but it just feels toothless. It just doesn't have the punch that I'm looking for. It's just, hey, guy on motorcycle fights zombies, and I feel like The Last of Us eats its lunch completely. And I just don't see... I do not see it happening. You know, I don't see it being a big thing, but I do see it being solid. I'm not going to say it's going to be a complete rotting failure. I'm just saying that it's going to be an okay game that will ultimately be forgettable, and no one's necessarily going to be looking at it on Game of the Year type of stuff next year. So my fourth prediction is going to be about Sucker Punch. They're finally going to come out of hiding. They're going to show the game that they've been working on since they wrapped up Infamous Second Son / Infamous First Light. And it's not going to be anything Infamous related, and it's going to be coming out in the second quarter of 2018, probably around the summer area, closer to maybe May or June, but it could also get pushed. You know, you never know, but I feel like they've been working on it a decent amount, and I feel like Sony wants to space out their games. They need to maintain a steady pace of exclusive titles to make sure that people don't want to go to that more powerful console that their competitor has. And I think Sucker Punch is going to be the one to do that, especially because by this point, you'll have Spider-Man out already in my mind, and God of War out in my mind, as well as Days Gone. You need to get your other developers to punch in some games as well. Sometime in the first half of 2018 as well, for my fifth and final prediction for Sony, is From Software. They are going to reveal a new Souls-style game. The catch is it's not Dark Souls, and it is not Demon Souls, and it is definitely not Bloodborne 2. They're going to make a brand new game in a brand new setting with the same core mechanics that these games have. What I think is interesting about these types of games is that they've learned through the sequels to Dark Souls that they get a little bit of flack because the first game that they do is so interesting in its lore and its storyline and everything that when they go back to the well for it, a lot of people will either criticize it for being too different from the previous title, or it ends up retreading or bringing up old stuff. And it definitely happens with Bloodborne. If you play Bloodborne, you have a certain expectation of what the game is, and by the end of the game, a lot of things have changed. And I feel like going back to it, there's no like hook. But if they make a brand new setting with the same core gameplay that people like, I think it'll work a lot better. So I think FromSoft's going to give us another cool RPG, but it's not going to be what it's not going to be a Bloodborne style game. It's going to be completely new. And of course, it's going to be exclusive to PS4, and a lot of people are going to cry and vomit blood all over the floor and scream PC, and it's going to be hilarious. I'm going to fucking love it. And those are my Sony predictions. Of course, there are going to be absentees. You're not going to be seeing Death Stranding over at this point, because I believe they confirmed that it's not going to show up. I don't believe it's going to show up. As much as it would be funny for Kojima to go, a psych nigga, we're gonna give you this trailer anyway. We got Jeff Bridges in it this time or some shit. I don't think it is going to show up. In addition, I don't think The Last of Us 2 is showing up at all, because they said back in December of last year that here's a video that we made in our souped up engine. It's very early. And I'm like, if that's all you can manage, I don't see you turning around and saying, here's a new trailer here. PSX, though, in December of this year, I think it's a safe assumption to, I think it's safe to assume we'll see it there, but I think they're holding that close to their deck. That seems like a game that may launch at the end of next year, or maybe early 2019. Do not see it having a presence until the very end of this year. I think we're not going to be seeing that game for a while, and they showed it quite early. So that being said, that's it for Sony, that's it for Nintendo, and that's it for Microsoft on my predictions. We have bonuses. We have 2 bonuses. These are 2 games that you would expect me to talk about, and now I'm going to talk about them and give you my clear thoughts on what is going to happen with them. Now, I didn't put these in the other conferences because they are third parties, and they are Square Enix. Let's talk about both these games. First one, Final Fantasy VII Remake. My prediction, we're locking it in, it's gonna get a new trailer. It's probably gonna be at Sony, because, well, it's being advertised as Play First on PlayStation. It's gonna get a new trailer. Gameplay isn't sub 30 frames per second this time, and will use CG cutscenes to reveal various characters. So let me get a little bit into detail about what I mean. They're going to show more gameplay from the bombing mission and maybe running around some hub areas, and it's going to be in 30 frames per second this time. Before, everything ran at what feels like half the frame rate, if that. Maybe show a battle against the guard Scorpion, and whenever they want to show new stuff like maybe Aerith, Tifa, Red 13, maybe a silhouette of Sephiroth, they're going to use CG cutscenes to beef it up and make the game look more feature complete than it is. We know that the game is a bit in flux because it entered internal development after cutting ties with CyberConnect 2, so there may be some issues and it may still be early goings, but I feel that it's been 2 years. Maybe they show that game again. Maybe they get people excited for one of the biggest games Square Enix is ever going to put out. Now, that's my prediction. I could be fucking wrong, though. This is a dream prediction of, like, this is the best possible outcome. Here's another best possible outcome that, in my mind, should be fucking feasible. It's about Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 gets its best trailer yet. What do I mean by that? In addition to some of the stuff we've seen of the game before, it's going to show 2 brand new worlds. One of them is going to be the Big Hero 6 world that they revealed was going to be in the game, but have not shown us a second of footage or an in-game screenshot for. And the next world is going to be a completely new one that they haven't announced before. On top of that, the gameplay is going to look polished. It's going to give you more confidence in it. You're going to see full combos, and it's going to look amazing. And maybe you'll see a couple of cutscenes. The music that will be featured prominently will be brand new. It's going to be brand new tracks. You don't have to worry about listening to Rage Awakened for the 40th time. And it's going to end Kingdom Hearts 3 2018. They're gonna call their shot. They're gonna call their shot, give you the year. They're not gonna give early, not gonna give mid, not gonna give late, because that's dangerous. You can be broad. You can be broad. The thing they aren't gonna do, they're not gonna go now in development, because these motherfuckers need to realize if these motherfuckers put out a trailer that 4 years after the game was announced, still says, now in development, those motherfuckers are gonna burn. So they're not gonna do that. They're not going to ruin my life. They're going to give us 2018. They're going to renew people's confidence in this team, in this game, and get them excited. And it will work really well because it'll probably be at the Sony press conference. I don't see it really getting a push by Microsoft. Microsoft usually doesn't seem too interested in Japanese titles. And I believe it was Sean Layden of Sony who said that Japanese games had been making a resurgence between Final Fantasy 15, Nier Automata, and various other major titles, Neo, and of course Souls games. Like, there's been amazing Japanese games that have been heading to the platform and have been kicking ass for the past year. And he said they're going to continue to be back in a big way, and we're going to see that at E3. And I think that's going to be it. I don't think Dissidia is the only megaton that they're going to throw out there. And that's it. That is my final prediction. Kingdom Hearts 3 will finally be vindicated in my mind with its major entry. The third game that is basically like the 11th game is going to finally get a release year, and we will rejoice, and we will watch the trailer over and over and over again. And if it doesn't appear, if Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't appear and they do not confirm when the next trailer is going to be, or a confident hint of that we will see it this year, the game has a problem. The game's in flux. Like, this is the last opportunity, I feel. Like, if we don't have a hint of when it's coming next and we don't get a trailer, the game's having fucking problems. The game's having problems. You should probably panic and not expect it for a couple more years. But I'm confident. I believe in Osaka team. I believe in that shit in general. And with that, we're gonna end my E3 predictions. That's it. That was 17 predictions, 5 of them for each of the big 3 consoles, and 2 Square Enix ones that I'm really excited to see. So, with that, I think that's the last E3 related discussion video I'm going to be doing until the show begins. Again, I'm going to be streaming all the press conferences, giving reactions, and it's going to be a great time. Going to be doing it solo. Usually I did it with a group, but due to current situations I'm dealing with, and also the fact that I want to syncing press conferences and stuff like that, and generally like making the videos and everything, it's much easier if I just do solo. So we're going to try that this year. And yeah, that's going to be a great time. Make sure to check that out. I would love if you guys would post what some of your predictions are in the comments, because discussion videos are fun, and let's kind of get a dialogue going. Now, I'm recording this on June 8th, so this will be going up a little bit later in the schedule. And I did not count any leaks when it comes to this kind of stuff, because it doesn't seem too necessary to throw that out there. Either way, I'd like to thank you for everyone so much for watching. You are great. I love you very much. And let's get hyped for E3.